Hello fellow vintage Ray-Ban lovers out there, hope you're well and welcome to another video. So as you've just seen there, I am now wearing another pair of sunglasses and another one. It's been quite a crazy week. The football as well has been going on. That's been great. We've had Brexit, so we are now out of political union with the EU. And obviously that has created the ripple effect. Politically, the Prime Minister has resigned. That's good. The shadow cabinet has imploded, which is not so good. Blah de blah blah de blee and all of that business. But today is about LIC. What does LIC stand for? You tell me. You collect vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses. What does LIC stand for? Yes, Long Island crafted. Everybody knows that. LIC on Ray-Ban sunglasses frames stands for Long Island crafted. But does it? Oh, that is the question. LIC doesn't stand for Long Island crafted. LIC actually stands for license. However, when I'm doing when I get told information, should I say, I want to see the proof. The first place to look is the location of Long Island. Now, Long Island is to the east of New York City. Now, if we look at the home of Bush & Lum Ray-Ban, which is in Rochester, you will notice that Rochester is at the tip of New York State. Long Island itself is at the very bottom of New York State. If you look at how the crow flies, or if you was to take a plane, it is an hour and 10-minute journey. Why would Ray-Ban create a special frame that was only an hour and 10 minutes away, when they could quite easily create and stamp the LIC markings into the frames at their Rochester frame plant? It makes absolutely no logistical or common sense. So the next thing to look at is probably the purpose of LIC frames. So as a collector of vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses, what you should know is that LIC frames were manufactured for the European market. So for the sheer fact that it was manufactured for the European market actually tells us that it probably wasn't manufactured at the Rochester frame plant. It was probably manufactured somewhere closer to the target market. So now we can look at the 1972 Bush & Lum annual report. So the thing to bear in mind is when LIC frames first came into existence, and it is believed in the vintage Ray-Ban circle that these special frames targeted for the European market were first manufactured in the 1970s. So let's put some of these points together. We have the LIC frame that was target for the European market, which probably needed a
central base close to that European market, first introduced to the market in the 1970s. With all of those points in our equation, we can therefore look at an extract from the 1972 Bush and Lum annual report. And underneath the International Operations Grow headline, it clearly states that during 1972, international operations were expanded considerably in Canada, South America, Europe, and the Far East. The acquisition of a German facility producing quality metal eyeglass frames for both domestic and foreign markets. So, here we have the evidence that suggests to us that Bush and Lum Ray-Ban opened a frame manufacturing plant in Germany. So here's where we're at. LIC frames come out in the 1970s and the target market is Europe. Bush and Lum open a frame manufacturing plant in 1972 in Germany, in Europe. So let's now think about the purpose of LIC. We know LIC frames are frames that were built in the German factory. We know this. We have the evidence. But we still don't have the purpose of the LIC frame. And this area is down to own personal belief. What's your theory? And if you have your own theory after you've heard mine, then I'd love to hear it. Please comment below and let the world know what your theory is. But let me tell you my theory and let's see whether or not you agree. LIC is a special frame, okay? There's not many LIC stamped frames as there are just standard B&L Ray-Ban USA frames. That's fact. So we can presume that the LIC frames are special frames. A lot of my LIC frames, they have gold content in them. So you'll get, if you have seen some Ray-Ban frames, they would have a fraction within them. And I'll put an example on the screen for you. And basically that fraction is the gold content within that frame. But that doesn't really still tell us that it's a special frame, because you can get those gold content frames without the LIC. Maybe it's to do to tell you and I, the customer, that what you have in your hand, what you've purchased, is a special frame built in Germany for the European market. Maybe it's to actually tell the customer, you and I, that this frame wasn't built in the United States, but was in fact built in Germany. Maybe it's an opportunity for B&L Ray-Ban to tell the customer that the gold content is a different type of gold. It's gold from Europe instead of gold from America, because don't forget the German factory were building those frames. It was a frame factory, so it wasn't an assembly plant, and where the assembly plant will have the separate pieces shipped to them, and then obviously the workers will then put them together. No, the German factory was actually making those frames from scratch. So that could be another reason. I mean, there's a whole host of reasons of why LIC was stamped in, but the main one for me, the easiest one to think, is that B&L Ray-Ban wanted to show that this was a special frame, and it was, you know, they had given a license to the German factory to be the only other factory in the world to build frames for B&L Ray-Ban. But hey, that's just my theory. I may be completely wrong. And if you know, excuse me, if you know the actual reason behind stamping LIC, then please comment below. If you have your own theory, which is much more exciting, then please comment below. But if you've liked this and enjoyed this video, then please like, please share, please comment, and please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.